Tip number one, memorize your piece, because it's very easy to lose track of where you are in a piece if you're trying to read it, especially off of paper where you're flipping through pages and you're looking at the text, you're looking at the crowd, you can lose track immediately. Or if you're scrolling through a phone and you get a notification, boom, you just lost your whole piece just by that. So memorize your piece. That way you can focus on your performance. And you can also focus on staying under the time limit, which brings us to tip number two, write under the time limit. Actually, you want to write 30 seconds under the time limit, because in American Slam, which is about 3 minutes on average, if you go over the time limit, you start getting points deducted. And if you go at like 3:15, 3:30, you get completely disqualified, and you don't want that to happen. So right under the time limit, that way you give yourself some headroom just in case you stumble and you have to recompose yourself, or you say something crazy and the crowd starts snapping, you can let it resonate and you can keep calm and perform on. Tip number three, perform, not recite. Spoken word is a performance art, and it uses poetry as a script. So even though you have a very strong text, if your performance is lackluster, unfortunately, it can go in one ear and out the other, because the crowd is there to consume the poetry by hearing it, by seeing it, by witnessing you. So you need to make sure that you are servicing the crowd on all ends of that spectrum. So that's overall body language, that's your vocal intonation, that's your eye contact. Practice in front of a mirror and sharpen that at an open mic. Which brings us to point number four, eye contact. So this goes beyond what you learned in speech class of looking at the crowd to build rapport and scanning the crowd. While that is great, you can use lack of eye contact to express certain emotions and moods. If you close your eyes, maybe you're recalling a very painful memory. If you're looking up, maybe you're looking to a god or something. Or if you look to the side, you're anxious, you're nervous, you're suspicious. Using eye contact in that regard can express emotion and mood in a way that scanning the crowd really can't do. So eyes are a very powerful tool in your arsenal kit for spoken word performance. But when it comes to big gestures, now we're talking about poetry hands. Tip number five, what to do with your hands. So hand motions are the biggest thing you can do on stage, but unfortunately, because of that, it's also very easy to get carried away. You don't ever want your body language to be louder than your poetry. So in various forms, in battle rap, it's known as the PG step. In hip hop, it's known as rapper hands. But in poetry, there definitely is a form of poetry hands. So you want to use your hands very sparingly. So if your performance is strong enough and your piece is strong enough, then you can get the crowd snapping with your hands in your pockets. But if you feel like accenting your overall delivery and performance, then use your hands, fine. But beware that it is easy to get carried away.